Friday. It is Wind Down Friday. Welcome to the Wind Down Friday series. Instagram is a bit slow going live today, so we're a couple of minutes late. That's okay. I'll just have a glass of wine first, sip of wine. So what I wanted to share today is a few things that I've been talking to other business owners, and that's about slowing down or maintaining speed or ramping things up over December, January. And for me, for my business, I won't be slowing down. I won't be stopping. I've had a lot of momentum in the last quarter of this year, and I want to keep that as well. So I won't be slowing down. A lot of business owners are slowing down or about to break until mid-January, but I'll actually be continuing along and using the time to really lay the foundations for my business. So making sure I've got all my systems in place. I've been migrating from some other systems into Kajabi, so I've done a lot of that foundational work sort of through November and December, getting all my systems right, setting up automations, really looking at my strategy and my plan for 2021, really refining my core offers and simplifying them down so that instead of having lots of different offers, I've streamlined them into 3. And so, I will be having a week off in January, but I will definitely be still powering through in December, January. Another sip of wine. So if you're on the live, let me know what you're doing, if you're going to be slowing down or taking a break over December, January, or whether you're going to be powering through. For me, it's a great chance to really clean out files that I've got on my desktop, clean out some emails, clean up my email lists, making sure that I've got everything systemized, I've got processes in place, just tidying up some of the loose ends, some courses that I bought that I still needed to finish off, some webinars that I haven't watched, just really tidying up all those sort of loose ends. But what I found this year, as probably what a lot of people have, is that I've been really busy but probably not so productive. So the big focus is on getting all of that sort of foundational stuff and all the bits and pieces and loose ends all tied up at the end of 2020, so that in 2021 I can be productive rather than busy. Because I just find that you spend so much time watching what everyone else is doing and consuming content but not creating it. So that's a big push for next year, but I'll go into that shortly. So Jacqueline, so you're doing the same, getting yourself organised for next year. Yep, perfect. I just think too, because if you stop now and everything's not organised for next year, then you start 2021 and you're already on the back foot because you're not organised, ready for next year. The other thing I wanted to touch on, obviously we're trying to finish everything off for 2020, is that you then become burnt out because you're so busy rushing around. So make sure you do take time out whilst you're finishing off 2020 to take some time out to exercise. It's a silly season, so we do want to make sure we've got some self-care. So whether you go for a walk, catch up with some friends and have wine, do some exercise, sit in a corner and read a book. It is busy season, but you definitely do need to still keep up that self-care. The other thing too is, make sure you've got everything systemized so that your processes and all your funnels and everything are all automated for next year. So that also frees up some more time for next year as well. The other thing too is that you want to make sure that you are also, eating well. We've got so many Christmas parties and there's so much temptation with eating and drinking, but just make sure you're consuming everything in moderation as well. Take a sip of wine as I mentioned that. So, try and make sure that you're not eating and drinking really bad 7 days a week. So make sure that you're still allowing some time to get some good nutrition into the body as well. My word, I always have a word for the year, and there's been a lot of talk around the circles at the moment about, what's your word for 2020 and what's your word for 2021. My word for 2020 was confidence. feel free to drop into the comments what your word is for 2020. And if you don't have a word, what's going to be your word for 2021? So for 2020, mine was confidence, and that was all around me being really confident in, going to events or showing up and saying, I'm a business coach, because there was so much stigma around, there's a lot of stigma around business coaches, and I just had to really own that and go, yeah, I'm a business coach. I impact people's lives. I help people with their businesses. I help them with their mindset, with their strategy, and own that. So I really stepped into that this year and really leaned into the fact that, be confident in what I do, because I absolutely love what I do. I'm passionate about it. I get results and I change people's lives and I love it. So I really stepped into that this year. Another thing was video. I've always sort of been behind the videos. This year I've done a lot of videos, so I got confidence with that. The other thing's lives. I never did lives in my business. I was always telling my clients, got to do lives. Never did them myself. So this year I have stepped into the live arena and have been doing lives, and it is on my agenda to make sure that I'm doing them regularly. So confident with that, which is awesome. And I do talk really fast, so the lives, I think there was just the pressure on myself. So, confident with the lives. The other thing was, and I've spoke a lot on this with through social media, is events. I don't like events, like the networking events. They're a bit icky. And I did put myself out there August this year when events started to come back in person, and have attended a couple of different networking events and absolutely love them, thrived. I've been going to 2 every month since August. So that was just me, being confident in going out there and meeting new people. And, it was a fear that I had, and now I've conquered that. So I feel that confidence in 2020, absolutely smashed it. Yes, so happy. Show me some emoji love if you have smashed your goal or your word for this year. So 2021, my word is ignite. And if you've been on my website or you've seen my socials, you would know that everything is around about ignite, because the passion in my belly and the fire in my belly is all around coaching. It lights me up. It ignites me. I just love it. And my tagline is that I help you move from burnout to lit up. And everything evolves around that sort of ignite. So my coaching programs, it's, Ignite Coaching, Ignite Mastermind, because it's all about igniting you and your business. So I really want to step into that further next year. Just really igniting my business. I've got some new things coming for next year. Started to tease them out, so keep an eye on them. As I said before, streamlining my business this year, simplifying things. So we overcomplicate everything. We have just so many things going. So for 2021, igniting my business by simplifying it. So having online programs, one-to-one coaching, and a mastermind as well. That's the only way to work with me. And I'm just trying to read through my notes what I had. Pause for another drink. So igniting, not only my life and my business, but also the clients that I work with as well. That's my plan for next year. So if you've got a word for next year, drop it into the comments so we can have a look at what that is. What I also wanted to talk through is and I heard this the other night in an event that I went to, and I thought, there's such great questions. The first question was, what will you leave behind in 2020? Feel free to drop into the comments. What I myself will leave behind in 2020 is that whole busy but not productive. So, spending time consuming rather than creating. So I've spent a lot of time in the last sort of 6-8 weeks trying to get all the consuming out of the way so that I can get creating. And I've been doing a lot of creating this week, which is awesome. So just finishing off that foundational work so that everything is all set up in my systems, so that I'm not having to be busy, that I can actually be productive. I worked a lot on my own mindset and did a lot of inner work for 2020. So I want to take that into 2021. Had some big issues around my relationship with money throughout the years and did a lot of work on that in 2020. So I want to take that into 2021, the positives around my money mindset. So for 2020 also, obviously at the start of the year when COVID hit, everyone either pivoted, shut businesses down, paused, or stepped into sort of totally different roles. At the start of the year, because everything that was going on with my personal life and my family, everything, I sort of made the decision to pivot and stepped out of the coaching space a bit and more into the consulting role, which is what I've worked so hard to move from consulting into coaching. So I sort of stepped back into consulting, and whilst it was great because really good income, I stepped out of my passion and my purpose, and I wasn't living to my true why. So at the time, and looking back, it was a great decision financially, and just took that pressure off for me and my family. But I stepped out of what my true passion is, and that's coaching, and I wasn't lit up. I was getting burnout. Everything started to, whilst the money was there, I started to really struggle because I wasn't doing what I absolutely love. So stepped aside from that in September and jumped back into coaching. So again, back lit up, ignited, back on my true why, my purpose and my passion. So for 2020, I have sort of stepped out of it. But for 2021, I will only be doing anything that's aligned with my why. Why I have my business, the passion that I have for coaching. I'm just going to stick with that. I've got to stick with my why. For 2021, I'll continue to invest in myself. This year, I've had business coaches over the year, but this year I really took my business coaching to the next level with a coach that I'm working with Ruby Lee, and invested in a 6-month program. So before, I'd only ever invested in more of a short-term program, 3 months being the most. I invested in 6 months, and best thing I ever did. So coaching is the best investment, not only for me personally with personal development and growth, but also for my business. So we'll continue that through 2021. The inner mindset work and the inner work that I did on myself and my beliefs and my values that I did in 2020, I'll be taking that forward to 2021 because that has absolutely changed my business. I cannot say how much that has changed my business and also my personal life, how I show up every day, how I bring my energy, how I do my strategy, just every single part of my life and my business has changed through that work. If you want to know more, let me know. This year I've worked a lot on continue to show up consistently. In 2021, that is the thing that I'm just going to be smashing, just to show up consistently, add value, help, have impact as much as I can. Simplify my business. Yeah, so I said that I've done that for next year. The different ways you can work with me is my new online programs, one-to-one coaching, or my group mastermind. So really simplify my business and simplify all my processes, so don't have all these complicated, overwhelming systems and processes and programs. Just really hone in on simplifying my business. So has anyone got any questions? I'll just have another simple one. Any questions? Show me some emoji love. So Friday afternoon, I just wanted to sort of talk about a different topic every week. If you've got any questions, feel free to shoot them through beforehand, or jump in live and drop the questions in. What I want to go through is, sort of what I'm up to personally. So tonight is date night. I haven't had date night for a while because last weekend I was away, girls trip, self-care. Fill in the cup, all that sort of stuff. And the week before my husband was away, and then the week before that we were away for the weekend for 3 nights. So we actually did date night, Friday, Saturday, Sunday night. So back to date night again tonight. We were looking at going down to the harbour, but it's just started peeing down rain, so I don't know that the original restaurant we were going to go to we will, but we were doing date night tonight. It's really important for my husband and I to reconnect. We've got 4 kids. We've been married 20 years together, 23-ish, known each other for, 40 years. So it's really important for us to take time out and reconnect, and so we try and do that on Friday nights. And we do regular, pretty much quarterly weekends away together as a couple, just so we've got that time together as well. And then we also take our kids away. We don't just always do things on our own. We do take our kids away a few times a year as well, and spend some time with them, some quality time. So that's pretty much from me. Weekly wrap up, wine Wednesday. No, it's not Wednesday. Wine time. I did want to do a wine Wednesday, but I just figured that Friday afternoon's just really good. Jump on, have a bit of a chat, and then sort of Friday afternoon knock off time. Next week, make sure you tune in. I am going to go through the signs of burnout, what burnout is, how it can affect you. I have a 10-step guide on burnout and sort of how to do a bit of a, this is what you could do with burnout. This is how you can sort of work through burnout, but, this is what you really could do if you really want to make a change. So, do you want to sit with feeling tired, or do you want to do something about changing it so that you're not tired? So I'm just going to be stepping through that. I've got a new 10 steps to overcome burnout it's live now on my website, but I'm going to be going through that in a lot more detail next week. So if you are going through burnout, or you've been through burnout before, or you think, maybe I am in burnout, I've been through burnout, and sometimes you don't really recognise the signs until it's too late, or you're sort of starting to talk to other people and go, wow, you are burnout, and you start to really reflect on that. So make sure you tune in next Friday, 3:00. Have an awesome weekend, and Friday.